Ladies and gentlemen, this is Conversations with Cars. My name is Dubs. I'm here with Sean, and we're going to address arguably one of the most controversial topics in South Africa and probably globally today. I'm the voice for the 90% of people in the country who do not understand why people have to put downpipes in their vehicles, customize their cars, drop cars until you can barely fit a hand under the front bumper, Sean, and then make this racket of a noise at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 10 p.m., midnight. And dogs hate it. A lot of us hate it. Why, Sean? Why? I don't get it. You can talk now.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
My name is Dubs. I'm here to address this controversial topic, and you're the culprit. And the reason why you're the culprit is because of this, the BMW M2. You took arguably one of the best M cars on the market, especially at the time of release back in 2017, and you decided you're going to strip half of the car and do your own thing because the car wasn't good enough. Why?
I think one of the things that I love in life is here.
Okay.
I like my life to be here. It's the same concept with my cars. Whatever car that I buy, it's here, and I take it to there.
So you're better than the engineers at BMW and no other manufacturers?
I won't say I'm better. I'm saying that nobody can tell me what to do when I bought my car.
Oh.
I can do whatever I feel.
And that's Sean. I think on that note, you deserve to cheers to some good coffee.
Yeah, sure, but thank you so much for joining. I know we wanted to do this for some time back.
Good coffee and conversations with cars.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than this.
Thank you so much for coming through.
No, it's a pleasure.
So we're just building my ultimate sports car. I think that's the title of where we're going
Right.
today. You want to start or you want to?
Sean, I've asked you so many questions and you've given me maybe one answer, but that still doesn't justify why you annoy the 90% of people in South Africa. So please answer my questions.
Look, there is a huge market for aftermarket accessories and performance and stuff like that. It's just that you're not the market. So it's a new world. It's a different world. So people like to personalize their vehicles.
True.
Yeah. So I think by doing that, they somehow make it different to when it comes out from the showroom. Like, let me ask you a question, right? If you buy a car and you in the parking lot in Gateway and
Right.
you press the alarm,
Yeah.
all the cars look the same.
True.
So you may even go to the wrong car,
True.
right? And then you get the other type of people that they can spot their car a mile away because they want to make it look different.
Right.
They want it to feel different. They want it to
Right.
go better. They want it to handle better.
Right.
Yeah. So
Again, you can do that at or with the manufacturer. You spec your car.
yeah, but
Yes, I know it's got its limits, but
yeah,
can do
it
that.
definitely. Okay, so cars have tolerance levels, right?
okay.
And I think, like in anything, there's tolerance levels and there's limits. I think we as petrol heads like to take those limits and increase them. So better speed, better handling, better power, better brakes, better cooling, better. Life,
Okay.
we want better.
So with manufacturers, you can get better. I'll make an example. You've got a base 2 series, then you got an M240i, then you got an M2, then you have an M2 competition. Better. And then you decide you're going to take that, the OG M2, as I've already mentioned, arguably one of the best M cars to drive back in 2017, which shares a lot of its components with the BMW M4 at that time. I'm talking the brakes, the cooling systems, the intercooler, the rear differential. Pistons. Sean, the piston. You know it.
Yeah. Look, it's
So the car's
a lot
good.
of research done on the. So there's a lot of skill that goes into taking something and making it better. So remember, when I say better,
Right.
you're taking So let me explain how performance parts are created. So example is you get a company like APR, which do work for VW and Audi and stuff.
Right.
They take a standard BMW engine, they take a standard VW engine and they run it non-stop.
Right.
And they run it max. And then they go and see which parts break.
Right.
And those are the weak points in that engine.
Right.
And then they customize parts where those parts broke. So
Right.
for example, if the downpipe cracked, they create a downpipe. If a charge pipe came out, they create. So those upgrade parts actually make the whole sum of the engine better.
So you're saying there's a gap then?
Yes.
Ultimately, the engineers at BMW, at all these manufacturers, in fact, just I guess they either don't know what they're doing or what are they just lazy?
No.
Mind you, they do have an M2 competition, which should cater for all the shortfalls of the M2. Yes, it does come with, they have to sacrifice
drawbacks.
one or two things. Untrue.
A lot of drawbacks.
One being like the exhaust, of which M2's exhaust also came from the M4, parts of it.
Yeah.
So, again, Sean, why?
Yeah, I guess there's some tubes. Look, we can spend the entire our lifetime defending both sides, but I think there is definitely a framework to the madness.
When I actually met you, you actually didn't have your car because your car was in black. It was getting detailed.
Yes.
Yeah, so I met you first. And I guess when I saw your character, I thought, I wonder what car he's talking about. But I figured it's clearly not a stand. I was hoping to stand an M2 because the car's great. Thought maybe you did one or two things to it.
Yeah.
I did not expect you to do software update, change the shocks, and everything else. I know you're going to get into it in a second, but geez. So that's my point. I saw it before I heard it. But then once I heard it, now I hear you coming from like, geez, I live close to Gateway. I hear you coming from Porsche, literally. I can actually tell now where you're at.
So Sean is coming past, you mean?
Yeah, Sean's driving. The one time I called you, I didn't even know it was, but I called him like, Sean, did you just drive past my house?
Yeah, I guess that's petrol heads, huh?
But now that annoys the community. I love it to a certain degree. And I've told you this, your car does sound nice, but there's levels and that threshold's a very, very fine threshold. You remember what happened when we were at Old Town Italy?
Yes.
Okay, but we'll get into that in a second. Samsoft Customs. Where did that experience come about?
I've always been a petrol head. I think... So I was one of those kids that used to make those funny noises when you were in school and stuff, primary school. You know, those car noises.
Yeah.
So I think I was a petrol head from. I was naturally a petrol head, and then I also had the privilege. My dad used to work for Toyota, so we always had brand new cars and stuff like that.
Right.
And I got to learn. That's where my passion for driving came about.
Right.
So every car that we had, I tried to take it to its limits and stuff like that. And very quickly, you start to learn in cars that all cars have their limits.
Right.
And when I started, when I finally could have my dream car, which was the M2.
Right.
I found a lot of drawbacks.
Okay.
So the brake should overheat.
Okay.
I actually burn the oil, the brake oil. The oil overheats. So something about brakes as well. The oil has a certain tolerance level.
Yeah.
And it gets too hot. When it gets too hot, the car doesn't stop properly. So those are the things that you learn. Now remember, you're learning that on the freeway, and when you're coming to a robot and you're pressing your brake, and there's no brake. Those things, now remember, those are same. You'll have the same problem with the CS.
True.
You'll have the same problem with the comp.
But they'll have your carbon ceramics, surely.
That's if you upgrade to those things. But my point is, everything has its limits.
No,
I'm
true,
saying
true,
I'm saying everything
true,
has
true.
its limits. So if you would like to be a human being that plays on the limits, you need to prep the car so it's safe on the limits.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So
Can I tell you what I got from that?
yeah.
Speed limits, you don't really obey to that. Okay, you don't abide by those. You push your car on the highway and so forth. And rightfully so, you don't buy an M2 to drive slow. So I'm not going to be in your case about that. But I guess I get the character now. I guess I understand it. And it's also just to get some attention. I wanted you to say that. I was hoping you would say that and actually admit it. And you didn't. So now I'm going to ask you, do you agree that a lot of the things that you've done, especially when it comes to the exhaust and everything else, yes, I know it's for you, but it's also to just attract a lot of attention. Yes? Don't explain to me. Yes or no?
Look,
Don't explain to me, Sean. Yes or no?
a tough one, huh? Tough one. Because
Sean?
yeah, I love attention.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Can you tell us what you did
Love
to
it.
your car?
I love attention. Or do I? I guess everyone loves a bit of attention.
You don't have to explain yourself, Sean. It's who you are.
Okay, so let's go down the framework. Okay, so let's.
What did you do to your car?
So I guess to
Beautiful car, by the way, I got to
Yeah.
tell you. No,
Thank you.
shout out to that. The car looks great.
Sweet. Yeah. So the framework over all the years of experience, right? So let's get into the details and some value in this podcast.
Right.
The reason why we going down this podcast or this avenue is we interviewing people with cars, and then we talking about their journeys and what they learned, and probably get to share their knowledge and some of their drawbacks. So if we approaching the next BMW,
Right.
You can also learn from the do's and don'ts. So the framework is simple. You want your car to go faster than factory. So you want your car to stop faster, because the more faster you go, the more better brakes you need to have.
True.
And in order for you to do so level 1 and 2, level 3 you have to have the confidence to do it consistently. So you don't want the car to do different things all the time. You want the car to do the same thing all
Right.
the time. So
Right.
so that's the confidence that we have to bring. So those are the 3 frameworks that we go faster, stop faster, handle better.
And in order for your car to do that, all those things,
Yep.
to tick all of those components, what did you do to it?
So it's not so much of the outset. So I bought the car from Cape Town and I drove it down with one of my mates, right? And I got to learn about the car quite a lot, and very quickly you get to know its limits, because you're spending so much of hours in the car, 7.5 hours. So know that from Cape Town.
7.5 hours from Cape Town to Durban.
No. Whoa.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
geez.
So we
No wonder you have to upgrade the brakes. No, I mean, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been amazing if my car was that fast.
Gee.
But we can always dream. Maybe my next car might be doing that. Is that a challenge? Or?
No, actually, no, Sean. It's enough now.
Yeah, so there's the drawbacks. So one of the things that I found in this car was I was cooking the brakes quite easily.
Okay.
So you just have to better the brakes. So we, after a lot of research and playing with different, so we went with EPC brake lines.
Okay.
We went with EPC yellow stuff brake pads, and
Right.
we went with EPC brake fluid. The reason why you change those 3 is that there's weak points in the brake. So when manufacturer makes cars, it's like a full circle, right?
Right.
So you'll get a weak point. And
Right.
the weak point is the rubber.
Right.
So they change the rubber to braided lines.
Right.
So when the oil gets hot, right, it doesn't the whole unit, the whole the circulation
Right.
is better.
Right.
So the brake lines change. Brake pads, when it gets too hot, the normal brake pad burns.
Right.
You see those cars with the smoke and all that stuff there, and then you have problems stopping. So these pads are so good that they don't really get super hot.
So So they're not carbon ceramics.
They a compound to carbon.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in the middle. So if you can't afford carbon brakes, those pads are the next best thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you got brake fluid. So that's something that tolerance levels on the standard BMW brake fluid. You change that as well. So that's the brakes. So that's just the brakes.
Okay, and I believe you've done some engine software as well.
Yeah, so that's the stop faster, go faster. We when you want to let's just say increase the power and start putting pressure on the engine.
Right.
You have to do it. You have to change certain parts. Let's just put it. So you get the charge pipes, you get the down pipes, you change the plugs, you put a better intake system for air. Sorry.
Bless you. Bless you.
Is somebody thinking of me now? Or?
10% of South Africa.
10% of South Africa. So I fall under the 10%.
Yeah.
You know, my mom always
told me you're more of a special child. Maybe you fall under like the 2%.
Yes.
The 10% would customize the rims and everything else, and then the 2% does your engine software and brakes and brake fluids and.
Look, if you don't know these things, that means you haven't driven the car. You don't drive cars hard.
No, I've driven performance vehicles. I'm an automotive journalist. Yeah. I've tested them out. Yeah. But I just don't understand why you want more out of it. Do I push them to the extreme limits? No. But I guess that's the difference between you and I.
Yeah. There's some people in life like to play on the extremes.
And you're one of those people.
And I'm one of those people.
The 2% in South Africa.
Yeah. So in anything, it's I think it's the nature.
Okay.
You want to, anything that I do it at a extreme level.
Same thing as the engine software. You went extreme. What did you do? A stage 2?
So that was a full, so let's throw some numbers in. So you, since you're a journalist and,
let's talk about the standard performance that you get out of this engine.
Yeah.
N55 engine, agree?
Correct.
272 kilowatts.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people argue it doesn't have 500 newton meters of torque, but let's say maximum 500 newton meters of torque.
Yeah, well, if you dyno-tune the standard car, I don't think it really can.
No, yeah, but a lot of people have said that you actually get 500 newton meters of torque out of this engine, as standard. So let's go with 500 newton meters of torque maximum. M2's got 550. The competition goes up to 550. But let's stick to this. 500 newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 in about 4.3 seconds. Top speed, 250 kilometers. Quarter mile, if I'm not mistaken, about 13 seconds or so.
12.7.
It was close. And literally, I guesstimated that one. I wasn't sure, but...
Well done.
Say 13 flat, 12.7. Okay, that's cool. And then you got how much out of it?
12.4.
12.4.
So that's actually faster than an M2 comp.
On a standard M2.
On a standard M2.
And kilowatts?
So the last dyno-tune we've done, and guys, I need to do another dyno-tune properly with proper fuel and stuff with it. So we got it on the wheels at 270 kilowatts at 560 newton meters.
270 kilowatts?
On the wheel.
Okay.
So that's like 300 on the car. Or I think 310, Okay, look, the N55 has a cap of what you can safely push these engines to, right? So I was told by our tuners that you shouldn't be pushing these cars more than that. Yeah, so look, but all these are just numbers, right? How it feels on the road is freaking, it's an animal.
Is it evident?
The power difference? Yeah. Oh no, it's chalk and cheese. It's completely chalk and cheese. So it takes you into, I was racing my mates going to Desi, and he had a TTR RS.
Yeah.
And similar guy to me.
Somebody part special. Of the 2%?
Yeah, part of the 2%. Bought a brand new Audi TT.
Right.
Went one step further and changed the internal. So he
tuned it as well.
Yeah, and he changed the rods and pistons.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so, and that car races Lambos and it's a supercar, right?
Yeah.
And I stuck with him. Going to Desi.
Right.
And I never met this guy before. So we met on the freeway.
Yeah.
So he we had a couple of runs, and then we came to a place where both our cars were in the same place, and I opened the window and I told him hi, but not knowing that I'm going to meet him in half an hour at the track. And then we just greeted, and then I left him. Now, then he didn't follow me after that. Okay, and then I drove like that all the way to Desi. And then there's this guy coming in to the track day.
Yeah.
And he says that he races supercars, and he was saying, "What the hell is in my car?" There's definitely something about the stuff that my finger that I put in the car. That so you remember? So you took a standard M2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can play in a category that's not even in your league. And if you have the ability to do that safely, that's what tuners love. That's what makes us feel.
Wow.
That's what gives us passion, is to take a car that's in a class, and be able to play in another class.
I get you.
Yeah. So so I guess that's what it is. And
to boost your ego.
Well, call it what you want. Look, everyone has their weaknesses too. Some people it's cars, some people it's clothes, some people it's everything.
I'm not fighting you, Sean. I'm just
I'm not.
I want you to spit out the facts. Tell it like it is, man.
Yeah. So that is the numbers. The M2 CS does the quarter mile in 12.1 seconds. It's 0.3 of a second slower than my car.
You mean quicker than your car?
Sorry, quicker than my car for double the price. Yeah, so you kind of understand.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you still have a warranty on your car? Okay, at the time you did the customs, because I know your car is...
Yes, it did have some warranty.
You kept the warranty with BMW.
Remember, warranty is... People talk about warranty, they talk about all of these things, right? The first thing that you should take note of when modding any car is to find out how good is that engine from the factory and what factory faults does it have. And since this M2, this N55, this is the last version of the engine. It came out in I think 2008, and it was they keep on improved it. So this version of the M2, the F87 in the M2, is the last version of this engine, and they fixed all the problems. And a lot of people said these engines are very strong, very strong. And since I drove it aggressively, quite
often
from Cape Town, I knew that the car had no problems. If there was a problem with the car, it would have told me. And hence the reason. So coming back to your question about warranty, there is a limit of risk that one takes with doing these things. Yeah.
So you kept yours.
Sorry?
You kept your warranty.
Well, you can't look if something had to go wrong with the car. Okay, there'll be a back and forth with the dealer. Yeah. So they have to technically prove that because of the changes you made impacted that. So to answer your question, yes, there is a bit of risk, but in life there is risk, because remember now, instead of driving an M2 in a class,
no, I get you.
You paid in supercar, so it comes with some risk, right?
So the answer is then no.
No,
you didn't keep. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Next,
journalist. The other 90%.
Suspension and tires.
Yeah, so in order, handling is very important. And when I say handling, it's about the car doing the same thing all the time. So if you throw it into a corner, you want it to react similar every time. And in order to get the car stable, I went with H&R Springs and Spacers, which is a German brand.
Right.
And it's to explain to somebody like you that doesn't really, are not keen on changes.
Yeah.
It's taking the standard M2 spring, throwing it in a bin, and putting something better. So all of these parts here are a level above the OEM parts.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say like the charge pipes,
Right.
the one factory fault in this car was the charge pipes always break.
Right.
And if you're putting more power in these engines, you have to change the charge
Right.
pipes. So every parts that changed here were not because I wanted to, it's because it was recommended for me to have done it.
Right.
Yeah, so H&R springs and spacers. So the spacers, you know what it is? It makes the car, the track wider.
Yeah,
Steering, so
yeah,
it makes
yeah,
the steering more. So you can dart it around. And gives it that stance, that BMW S that you see on the
Stance.
So that's what it is.
The stance. So is that why then you guys have to drop the suspension because of that?
Because of that. So there's less body roll. So like when you're coming, when you're coming fast around the bend, and when the car
leans.
Now remember, you either want to counter to call steer that, or we lose the traction. So in order for you to be confident and a car is stable, it needs to be flat.
Right.
So that's what look. There's different levels to. So there's many levels up than this. But for this car, because it's been such an amazing handling car, just the cherry on the top was enough that you needed. So H&R spring spacers. I dabbled with a few tires.
Right.
Okay. And the car came with Conti 6.
Yeah.
Not the tire for a BMW.
Really?
Yeah, not the tire. It's a good tire for Audis and all that stuff, because I feel that it's a...
Sorry to cut you there.
Yeah.
You can get Michelin tires on it though, yes, no? Pilot Sport tires, no?
Pilot Sport, yes.
Can you?
Yes.
But your car came with the Contis.
So the car comes with two types of tires. It comes with either the Michelin Sport,
yes,
or it comes with the Conti.
Don't you? So now you've got Michelin.
Yeah. So I bought the car with Contis,
okay,
and then I slowly learned that it's very dangerous. It's not the tire for the car.
So let's just highlight. Let's just highlight something here quickly. It's not dangerous for the average driver who just buys a normal M2, for example.
It's not
just to cruise around in. Yeah.
It's not dangerous.
It's not dangerous for me, but it's dangerous for you.
Very dangerous for me.
Okay. I just wanted to highlight that. So it's not dangerous. Okay. It's not dangerous.
It's not the preferred tire.
But it's dangerous for the 2%.
Yes. So yeah.
Slash 10% in South Africa.
You want me to finish, or you want to carry on?
No, I'm just saying. Just don't tell us. Don't try and make us feel bad for not customizing our cars.
No. I'm not. I'm just telling you So there's tires that suit different brands.
No, true.
And I had a few Audis as well, and I've noticed that Contis for Audi seems to be
they work
because
Quattro.
They're Quattro. So all four tires loses traction at the same time. Mm-hmm. You know that whole four Quattro. Mm-hmm. So you don't need a very fancy tire. But with BMW, right? You always beyond control, so you're always sliding, right?
Yeah.
Now, when sliding, you need a good quality tire that handles sliding better. Yeah. And Michelin, I found, is a better tire for what you call that. And so I went with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss, but for some reason it was touching with my spec of the car and all that stuff. So I went with the final tire that I chosen was the Pilot Super Sport, which is still on the car. It is amazing.
It's good too.
Yeah. So that's brakes,
tires, suspension,
and then go fast stuff.
So that's all now.
That's it, my friend, and you can have fun.
Talking of fun, I think it's probably best to. It sounds good, and I guess for a lot of people complicated when you read out everything that you do. So I think it's probably best if we show you guys a visual representation of what that actually looks like. I'm going to drive the car like how a lot of you guys viewing would probably drive on a daily basis. And then Sean's going to demonstrate exactly why he had to do everything that he did in his car so that he can be able to do all the things that he shouldn't be doing but wants to do as the exclusive special kind. Are you ready? Let's go. Right, I'm in the driver's seat and I'm driving in comfort. We're driving around the city. And let me tell you, first thing is the suspension is really, really soft. Now you can also hear that he's obviously got downpipes on this car. The normal M2 the rider's a little bit harsh, but with this, the seats are really comfortable. That's stock standard, so nothing's been done to that. Suspension is also still good, and we're going over bumps here. The fact that the cameraman wasn't bouncing up and down is an indication to show you how comfortable the car is. And then when you start putting some foot to gas, now that's comfort. I'm going to open the window a little bit so we can get a little bit of sound. You can really feel that it's not your stock standard M2. Bumpy road, now it gets bumpy. Now you can tell that, hey, the suspension is a little bit on the firm side, let's be honest. Another speed bump. Downshift. Everybody lets you go when you're driving this car because it just sounds so good. Now I'm going to drive it in manual, maybe go to sport. Opens up the valves a little bit. Then you get that stuff that annoys everybody in the neighborhood. Right now, everybody hates me, I can tell you that much. But it does sound nice. I mean, wow, ladies and gentlemen, the BMW M2. What a stunning car. Sean, I had fun. I'll be honest with you. I had fun in my drive. How was your drive?
It's what I do. So, yeah, it's just amazing. Now, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you see some method in the madness from taking something that's from factory,
yeah,
and making it better?
For the 2%, yes, totally. For the 90%, no. It's just...
Is the car not a better product now?
It is better.
As a product?
Performance-wise, definitely, yes.
Handling-wise?
Performance-wise, yes.
Handling-wise, braking-wise?
Handling-wise, braking-wise, I'll be honest with you, 10 stars.
Yeah, so that's what
Sound-wise, yes, again, for the performance side of things. But my point still lies for the everyday usability, driving it every day, dailying that car.
It is a daily car.
Yeah,
it's my daily car.
Yes, but there are certain places you cannot take that car. For example, you and I drove to Hillcrest not so long ago.
Yes.
About a week ago.
Exciting trip.
Yeah, we went on the N3, and then we went off, and I intentionally decided we should go on that road. Very bumpy, pothole, speed bumps and stuff.
Pissed.
Yeah, thank you. He was so
he
pissed.
took me down a road that...
He was so pissed.
I actually wanted to tell you to jump off.
I could see him trying to keep it together. And I literally told you, there was a reason why. Because I wanted to show you that unless you're driving on the highway, certain parts here in Mhlanga,
I mean,
it is usable, yes.
It's not stuck anyway.
True, Sean. But again, it was raining now the other day. We had some heavy rains in Durban. Had you been out there in the situation that I was in, I don't think you would have made it.
Yeah.
Or you probably would have, but your front lip spoiler you'd have probably lost that. Yeah, you wouldn't be a very happy chappy right now. Your wallet definitely wouldn't be happy with you.
Yeah, I remember when we build cars for 90% of the time.
Tell me, do your neighbors like you?
Yeah. So
do your neighbors like you?
Look, I don't think lots of people don't like me. So
not because of who you are as a person, not because of your car. Do they like you?
Yeah, probably they don't. I've got to be honest. When I start my car in the morning,
yeah,
you do know I started the car. So I'm guessing that some neighbors are a bit tired of it.
So in conclusion,
I'm a loud person.
Of course you are. No, I think you couldn't be loud with your mouth, so you decided I can be loud with my car.
It's
not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Okay.
So I'm not loud with my mouth. Love it.
Not really, which is a good thing. You let your car do the
talking. A lot of people might have another view on that.
Your wife, for starters. Sean, to wrap things up, I believe now you're selling the car. In actual fact, the car's on its way.
Yeah, so it's. I think the BMW. I think this car brings out a side of me that's quite wild.
The animal.
Yeah. So I have survived for 5 years with the animal. I think it's about time that
Let it go.
put the animal back in the box. So yeah, so I guess so. This is an introduction to the M2.
Okay.
I'm building my ultimate sports car, and I guess a goodbye to it.
Wow. And how's the overall experience? Ownership experience.
So 4-year ownership, amazing. Never
Yeah.
have a single problem with the car,
Yeah.
other than the mining tuner issues and stuff like that. But petrol consumption is great.
What do
Comfort
you average to the 100? Sorry.
going down to Desi and stuff like that, you can drop the car down to 8.2, 8.3, 7.3.
What are you averaging speed wise?
Crazy speeds. So, I mean, no, that's a good speed as well.
Uh,
Yeah, but local runs, yeah, but fuel consumption for this car is amazing.
wow.
When it's tuned, it's amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
So brilliant car. I guess some that you'll never get that on a comp.
True. I'll be honest with you though. I think something happens to the sound, like the exhaust. I didn't like it back in 2017. Like the difference between how the standard M2 would sound and the exhaust, the note that you'd get from the comp. It lost that thing.
That's why they call it the OG BMW, because it's the last of the breed. It's the last raw BMW.
Wow.
And then once they started bringing the Compion, that's when it's the new gen of cars.
Wow. I think with that being said, guys, it's been brilliant. The drive, the experience has been different. And Conversations with Cars is all about sharing the knowledge, talking about the differences between standardization and customization and the do's and don'ts. Because I know there's a lot of things that we didn't talk about in terms of the don'ts and how people get it wrong and how, they pretty much demolish these cars and they ruin it.
Yes.
So be sure that whoever does your the work for you on your particular car will have some things. If you click below in the links, we'll have links to the companies and the people that you collaborated with to produce that stunning M2. But wow, I'm sure the owner is excited. I won't lie to you, I will miss it on days when I'm feeling like I need a little bit of an adrenaline rush. I will miss it, but for the most part, probably not, but it's such a beautiful sight to look at. Sean, that car is amazing. And one thing, though, I'm going to give to you is that with everything that you've done, I thought the ride quality would be compromised. And I'm not going to lie to you.
It's actually better.
Yes.
It is better.
Funny enough. And I don't know how, but it is.
Because I did say taking the old parts out and putting better parts in.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on our Instagram pages. My name is Dubs. This is Sean. And if you want to bring your car to our studio and let us review your car, talk about your car, and share your ownership experience, be sure to contact us. All our details are in the description. My name is Dubs.
I'm Sean Sampson. Peace out.
And this is Conversations with Cars.
How's that?
Good, but your mic you're pushing your mic like further away, and every time you turn to look at me, your mic was out of range. But it wasn't so bad. And I was trying to make.
But it's so weird then to.
Yeah, keep it like that. That's the technique that you need to learn. Always think mic. Rather have it move the whole time than.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So just be free with it. But when you're moving with this, is it not making noise?
No. Nothing.
Oh.
No. Nothing at all.
Oh, so it's not making like yeah. Okay, no, then this yeah.
Right. Now we need to close it off. Podcast is on for 33 minutes.
How's that? Decent.
Stunning.
Serious.
Yeah. So now the rest we're gonna do it out there in the drive.
Was it
So we need to close the video now.
Yeah. What you wanna close
So
with?
I'm like, so how was that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start there.
Okay, no. So we're coming back. So let's just say
Back to the
we're
studio.
coming back to the studio, and then we drive is done,
Yeah.
and so then you'll understand what is it much